Ladies and gentlemen, welcome boys and girls to this special edition of the Wizkid review, More Love, Less Ego performance at the Roundhouse London, brought to you by the Energy God. Drink the Energy God and be yourself. That's what we're pushing right now. The Energy God and be yourself. Well, I wanted to record a video, but I just thought, let me just do this one live. And quickly wrap this up and go and sleep. Shout out to my brother Bankuli, I see you. First of all, today was a special day. Wizkid had an intimate performance at the Roundhouse London in Camden, 3,000 capacity. All fans selected that won tickets via the AXS website to come and see Wizkid perform his brand new album. So it was basically like a listening session, but he was performing the new records that nobody had heard before, live. So when we got to the venue, the queue was crazy. The queue went from Roundhouse London round the streets. Thousands of people on the streets. Guaranteed there were loads of people in that queue that didn't have tickets to go to the event. I'll be the first person to say, I was one of those. I didn't have a ticket to go to that event. No guest list, no nothing. But, you know, I just said, listen, I'm going to go there and we're going to see what happens. Shout out to my friend Kemi, who told me that she won tickets alongside her friends. They got pairs of tickets. And I just said, listen, babes, you know what I mean? Maybe you won't have to hand me one of those tickets. You get just for safety. Maybe I just take her home my side in case nothing pops up there. And you know, shout out to Kemi. She was kind enough to send me the screenshots of the ticket to use that. So I had that in my pocket anyway. And then I went there, it was made. We got to the venue. Outside was completely decorated with Wizkid. They had big banners on the screens, Apple Music, Wizkid Live. It looked like, you know, it was fantastic, man. The artwork. Camden was buzzing with a lot of Africans and people that loved African music only because of Wizkid. Again, you know, when we got to the venue, went in, and obviously I went through the VIP entrance with Smade and them, but I didn't have that ticket. So, you know, they checked the list. You know those ones where I'm like, yeah, what's your name? Adesope. Went through the list. No. I said, Shopsy-Doo. Went through the list. No. I said, Energy God. They went through the list. No. I said, rude boy, whatever's going to happen, whatever's going to happen, I'm in this building today. So, it's made me a phone call. It so happens that Wizkid sent my brother Bazzi to come get me. Say, listen, Shopsy cannot be outside. You know, I didn't want to disturb nobody for no guest list. You know how these things are. You know, people move funny when it comes to guest lists. I don't want to be stressing nobody. But Wiz was like, yeah, go bring Shopsy. So that's how I got this pass. My own pass was like different. They just get Shopsy in the building. Even though we can't even use our phone. So once we walked in, they asked for your phone, they put it in this pouch and they lock it up. That lock, even Jesus can't open that lock, bro. You need a machine to open the lock to get your phone out. So once we entered that building, it was phones out, nothing. So we walked into the hall and there was this incredible set that was developed. No word of a lie, I'm thinking the production costs for that set will probably be in the region of like 200, 250, something crazy. They built like, it's almost like a flower and it goes in ascending order and has like a runway, all white. DJ Tunes was at the top and then the instrumentalists, you can see their instruments lining down till it touches the runway. And, you know, that runway is in the middle. And Roundhouse goes around that ground floor and top floor. And then on top of the stage, there's a massive kind of globe. It looks like a space vibe. Apple Music went in. They spent the moolah. You know what I mean? They spent the money. Once you walked in there, you see the set, you're like, nah. it's almost like what Skepta said. You see the set, that's Lash, that's Des. You see the set, that's Wiz, that's Apple. Going back to the vibes. So I was in the crowd. You know me, I'd come in on a one-leg-in type of vibe. You know, shout out to my friend who gave me a ticket that was security for my pocket. But I wasn't supposed to be amongst where everybody was in the VIP. But what happened was, because Wizkid has sent Bazzi to come get me and give me a pass, that pass meant I could move however I wanted to move. You know what I mean? But still, I had to respect myself. Word is bond. I still had to make sure I check myself. So about maybe 30 minutes in, DJ Tunes was playing music, just keeping the vibes good, playing everything from Organized. Every other day we organize. And then he took us back with some African music. He went with Don't Get It Twisted, Love Is a Beautiful Thing. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang, bang. And some oh yeah. And some boom, boom. All of a sudden it feels like I'm hearing P Square everywhere I go now. Everybody is kind of bringing out the P Square hits. Boy, Chop My Money, everything. Willow, all of that. And then I went upstairs to join, you know, them Smay. When I got to where the VIP was, I've got to be honest with you, there was some VIP in the stands. We had Oscar winner Daniel Kaluuya in the stands. We've got head of black music at Apple, Ibro Dadden, head of hip hop at Apple, Ibro Dadden in the stands. You know, I've got NSG in the stands. We've got the composers in the stands. We've got Jules baby in the stands. You know, everybody is in the stands. Every single celebrity. Someone went to get us a drink. Babs went to get us a drink, and he was like, Skepta's at the bar trying to fix himself something. Like, everybody who was anybody in the UK was in that building. In that building. The VIP section was loaded. You know, whatever type of creative industry you're in, you've got someone next to you that's holding it down there. So we're there, you know, people started coming in, and then Wiz was supposed to go on stage at 9. However, because of the amount of security and checking and then locking everybody's individual phones, it meant that a lot of people couldn't get in quick. So I think they pushed that to like 9:30 just to make sure more people came in. Because remember, the lines had gone through the streets. There's nobody driving through Camden today that would not have asked the question, who is performing today? What's happening? First of all, the amount of black folks on the streets. And second of all, the amount of beautiful black queens in the streets. And third of all, the amount of people in the queue. Who's performing today? You know, so they let people in, and all of a sudden we just saw the band in their all black. Everybody was in the all black, you know. DJ Tunes' silk shirt, looking swagged out, shades shining from a million miles away. And the instrumentalists, they climbed that kind of flowery type. I don't know how to describe it. When you see it, you don't understand. They went into their positions, and we knew it was time for Starboy, aka Big Wiz, aka Wizkid, to come in. And DJ Tune stopped playing, and we just said, Ibella no straight. The place went off straight. No time. That place went crazy. He followed that up with Fever. And then he now said, listen, he's about to introduce his new album to the world, and he wanted to start performing some of the records. Now, you have to understand, 3,000 people in that building, and barely any one of us had our phones. So we couldn't even stunt to get ginger. We couldn't send videos out so that people can send messages in to say, man, I'm missing that ginger. We couldn't do nothing. We were just like focused on the performance and what was happening. And then he was performing new records, which meant that these are records none of us had heard before, apart from people in his camp. So we're very attentive. We're looking at him. We're listening to the record. You've got critics. You've got, you know, everybody's listening. He starts performing these records. And the first couple of records I heard, like, dope music, but different sound, almost kind of soul, R&B, Afrobeats type of sound, like 70s, 80s. I don't know how to describe it, but what came to my mind was like the 80s soul music type of vibe with Afrobeats music. And I'm thinking, Wizkid too low. He went to the left. He went to a completely different side to pull out the sound. And whilst he was performing his first two records, I'm looking at the crowd. Everybody's so attentive and calm and trying to listen to the record and soak it in. I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a brother that knows his position. This is somebody that knows his position within the culture. He knows his gift. He knows his talent. He loves his music and will not allow himself to be influenced by what the world is doing right now. It's one of the most difficult things to do in the creative industry, to block out the noise and to do what you like, knowing that what I like as a creative is what my fans would like. It's a different skill set. It's a different skill. And, you know, shout outs to Wizkid and a couple of the leaders in this new school that are believing in their craft enough. You know, this is Wizkid 12 years down the line, breaking all sorts of records at the top of his game. You know, on stage, he was just vibing. He came out in the all blue. You know, everybody was dressed in all black. So he came out in the all blue, silk type of shirt and silk trousers, you know, button down, six-pack, showing. Six-pack. Wiz. Yeah. And obviously the girls in front were going crazy. He starts performing these records, and like I said, the sound is different. It was a little soul 80s Afrobeats R&B type, you know. And that was the first and the second record. And then he gets into this third record. And this third record, you know, caught my attention a little bit, because at the beginning of the record, there was like somebody speaking. I couldn't tell if it was Fela or somebody was saying something, and I'm trying to hear. I'm trying to hear. Shout out to my brother that bought the badge, man. I appreciate you. You know, I was trying to hear what that person was saying, but somebody was talking. So there's like an opening conversation in there, and then he goes into the record, and straight away, I turned around I had DJ Fifi, DJ Neptizzle, Smade. You know, these people were around me, and I said, this is the Fela vibe. This is Afrobeat type of vibe. The saxophonists, he had 3 saxophonists, trumpeters on the stage. They instantly went into the trumpets, and, you know, and his backing vocalists, he had like 6 other backing vocalists that came out and started to really give like the chorus. And Wiz, that one there, I think that one's going to get me, you know. I think that one's going to get me for a variety of reasons. Shout out to everybody buying the badges, man. I appreciate it. That one is really going to get me because there's a story to be told in that record. Again, we couldn't write anything down. But, you know, I had a Ojuelegba feeling. I had a Mufekole from Mama, bang, 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 Ayani, bang, bang, bang. You know, he had that type of vibe. A more mature one, but it had that type of vibe in it. So once that one caught my attention, I'm like, okay, where's something coming? And after that performance, he performed the record that, you know, in my mind, so this is what I'm doing whilst I'm watching and listening to this legend on stage. It's like, when I hear a record, I'm trying to think of something else I've heard from Wizkid that probably I could use to describe, especially to people that didn't go or haven't listened to the album. So he performed the record. I'm not sure if it's one night only, maybe it's for one night or something. The record is about one night, asking a girl to come over. And the vibe of that record was the vibe I got when I listened to Piece of Me, yeah, yeah, yeah. Come and get it, come and get it. Like a love type of vibe. And I'm like, this one don't catch me again. You know, you have to understand, we're listening to these records like right there, a live rendition of records that are not out yet. That's powerful. And we had just those 3 minutes or whatever to buy into it and you know, have our instant reactions to what the song was going to be. So the fella vibe caught me, this one night only or whatever, that one caught me. And then he grabs the microphone and says, you know, there's this young lady that I love her talent. I think she's so talented, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Ira, the star. And Ira came on stage. She looked like a star. High black boots, short leather black skirt, you know, hair was all done. You know, they had their collaboration, and both of them, you know, Wiz will let her go forward and do her performance. He will fall back and give her the whole stage to showcase her talents and, you know, engage with the audience. And she was dancing and doing that. When he wanted to do the chorus or verse, he'll come close to the stage, he'll walk past her, do his thing, dance back, leave her alone on there. And you can get a sense that, you know, here is a front runner, a pioneer, a legend who was giving his platform, sharing his platform with a newcomer, someone that was incredibly gifted and who a lot of people like myself believe was on the path to the moon. But obviously what Wizkid does is by sharing the stage and sharing a song with you, he fast tracks your trip to the moon. So even though Ira is a born star and destined to do great things, I think this collaboration and this performance, remember on Apple Music, which I haven't seen this been done before, especially not by an African, you know, that's great. That's a massive endorsement. And when they finished their song, Wiz was like, you stay, I'm coming, you know, stay on stage, I'll be coming. He went to change and left Ira Star on stage to perform 2 extra records. He goes into Bloody Samaritan, and obviously the crowd went absolutely nuts, singing every lyric, performing to her. And when she finished that, she performed the latest record, Rush, and got an incredible reception as well. And by the time she finished her second song, which was ultimately her 3rd song on the night, Wiz was ready to come back out in an all-white, swagged out sweater type top, and then silk trousers. But you know, Wiz is on a silk mission. I need to check what these designers are saying. You know what I mean? And he came back on stage, and he goes into the performances where he's like, are there any Day One Wizkid fans in this building? Yaga. Them say them. Baba. Forget. Lati Benyelo. Fajilawa. Everything, everywhere bust 2 seconds. Place went crazy. He goes into Caro, you know, he goes into all of these records, you know, and then there was a part where he played Daddy O, and the energy for Daddy O was so crazy. Wizkid was at the beginning, at the front of the stage, and he was like, we gotta pull this back. Pull this back, pull this back, pull this back. They pulled the record back, the place went off. When he performed Back to Me, I need to tell you this, anybody doesn't tell you about that record, no sure that record, oh, the record don't blow. Everybody in the audience, 3,000 people were ready. Dance Baby Birthday to Me. Everybody was going. Back to Me is blown. Forget, when he comes into your city and he's performing that record, trust me, watch everybody in the audience. You watch everybody in the audience. It's just like the record balance, where he tells them to turn the place up and he starts to perform the record balance to us. And that record balance, you know, there's something about the chorus, then he starts to say something and tells us to say balance, and the whole crowd was going balance, and he was turning it up. He already knows that's another smash. You know, this guy, listen, he's at the forefront of the culture. Obviously, he's got, you know, colleagues at that level that are doing incredible things, but his decisions might be the decisions he makes or the decisions God makes for him. But every time this brother looks like he just makes certain decisions that just kind of, you know, just makes things, everything, you know. And tonight was a fantastic one. When he performed, I forgot what record he performed. People started throwing bras at him, and then he got to a point where he was like, "Yo, me and DJ Tunes have have you fans at heart," or something like that. Your interest at heart, and he just dropped my days, and then they changed the lights of the stage. That big tube at the top just turned to red. And he's like, grab every girl and whine, and the whole room just became sexy. Like that, like voila, the place turned around, dimmed the lights, turned the red lights. Your love gives me one unconditional. Place went crazy. Performed Essence, the place went crazy, you know, and then goes into OSHLAND. And you already know what's going to happen there. Everybody starts speaking in tongues, you know. Whether you're Nigerian, Jamaican, Ghanaian. I saw Oriental ladies in there. I saw Asian ladies in there. I saw, obviously, Caucasian ladies in there. It was, yeah, it was incredible, man. And when he finished OSHLAND, he went into that medley where he's performing Don't Doll, and it's just the guitarist. Don't Do, he performed like 4 records, and Tease Me, but it's just like a medley, and that part is so sweet. And he ends up with just saying, you know, more love, less ego, let's share more love, and starts to give his fans the love sign, and everybody was touching that at the end of the night. And it was just like, listen, whatever you're gonna say about this young man, yeah, he's one of the greatest we have. He's one of the greatest we've seen in a long time. He makes the right decisions at the right time. His music, his choice. So I think he lives and dies by his decisions. If you like it, yes. If you don't, good luck. But his fans will always like his music because, you know, he does what he does. His instrument, I want to be in an instrument selection session with Wiz. The way he selects his instruments, his instrumentals are like, it's just, let's go there. And he goes to pick that, you know, and you know, and you can hear it in the music. Tonight was fantastic. People came out. The music was great, and it was just another beautiful moment for us. I was sitting in the audience thinking to myself, how many times have I seen this guy perform? And I'm still excited, you know, I'm still attentive. It was different without my phone. And I left my AirPods in that nasty sack they gave us. Ah! They share AirPods, oh, do me. For those that don't speak Yoruba, I left my AirPods in that nasty sack they gave me. And I just bought those AirPods. The farther I drove away from that place, my phone was telling me that my AirPod was in Abakaliki. Oh, do me, oh long. I swear, man. But it was a great night. That's 250 or 300 or so. Oh, do me. Once again, brought to you by Energy God. The drink Energy God, be yourself. That's what we're pushing. But the AirPods pay me. I'm not even going to lie. The thing pay me, man. I felt it on my way back. I've just been feeling it. One security guard will be the one that will now find that airpod now. And be feeling like, you know, he was blessed by God. Nobody God bless you. The devil use you. And that airpod will not work again. In Jesus' name. That's all I can say. But yeah, man. Thanks. Let me go and catch a sleep. Tell everybody the MLLE album is coming. And it's about to be an interesting time again for the next 12 months. Shout out to everybody pushing the culture. Afrobeat is here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. And shout out to Wizkid. Incredible night. Had an amazing time. And please send him a message. I love you. Go into his DM. Tell him that I lost my AirPods. Fam. Oh, Lord. Thank you guys, man.